of material
that we work on? Yeah, definitely.
How severely have those?
Severely. In fact, the amount of new anime programming coming out of Japan for this season is not even half of what it was last year. So that's a good indication. Also, my friends that live in Japan that work in the industry, I told this story earlier. Nabishin just recently had a baby, and Nabishin is also as fond of smoking as I am. We recently found out that Nabishin quit smoking, and all of us were like, "What?" And his response was, "I had two choices. I could continue smoking, or I could put diapers on my new baby." So that'll give you an idea how bad things are right now. That's not to say that there's no hope. There's a lot of really neat things happening right now to try to turn the industry around. But it has greatly affected my work. I don't know how many of you are on my Facebook or MySpace, but I just announced last week that next year I'm only doing 10 out-of-state conventions because I'm starting my own business next year.
Oh, congratulations.
Most of us, thank you, but I'm doing that because voice acting has gone from what used to be a full-time job to a not full-time job. And I have to pay my bills too, and I'm not going to be like some of the voice actors that are charging money for their, appearances and their autographs. Like, I'm good at a lot of things, so I'm going to go do something else. The cool thing about my new job is it will allow me to continue to act, and it'll allow me to continue to go to conventions, but it has greatly affected my job. My job is not a job anymore, it's a hobby.
How can it stop?
If you can find the answer to that, I applaud. I've been working on it for 4 years. The industry is trying really hard. The Japanese are trying really hard now. There's a lot of strides being made to beat fan subbers and downloaders to the punch. Funimation announced this week publicly that the first few episodes, I wish I could remember the name of the show. There's a new show that's just coming out on TV in Japan, and they are getting the masters of those. Right now, I think it's a few days behind, so it's going to be a week at first, but eventually they will be coming out on the YouTube Funimation channel at the same time that they're airing on television in Japan. Wow. If that's not enough to stick the knife in the heart of a fan subber and twist it off, what is?
Yeah,
so I'm really happy. I'm happy that Funimation is being proactive. ADV is doing some new things as far as distribution that I'm really excited about. The companies are trying to reshape and reform themselves to meet the demands of a different fandom.
But now it's stopped.
Yeah, a lot of people have, and that's awesome. I think I credit those panels that I do, as well as articles that Zach Bursky has done on the Anime News Network, to the PSAs that we're working on. I've always said that I think anime fans are smart and intelligent, and more than anything, they're good people. I would like to think that they're just confused, and they really have let their selfishness and their non-knowledge of the subject to, I think they've let that interfere with the good nature of anime fandom. I trust anime fans. I think we're good people. So I think that if some new business model is to emerge, I think we're fine. I think that it's going to be a slow road rebuilding anime to the heyday of about 5 years ago, but had you asked me a year ago if I thought we had a fighting chance, I would have told you no, point blank. It's that bad. I mean, Gonzo has pretty much gone belly up this year, which...
Oh, they did?
Gonzo, well, I mean, I'm not going to talk about that specifically because there's an article on ANN about it, but it's become very obvious that they've had huge financial problems this year, and Gonzo has always had the Digimation money to, GDH is Gonzo International, it's part of Digimation. When they reported having problems, I really got nervous because they're a big deal. So yeah, I think there's hope. I think that to answer your question, yeah, it's affected my job greatly. I'm not quite as abysmal. My outlook is not quite so bleak as it was a year ago. I have a little more faith in the system right now. So. Yeah, who's got something else? Yes.
I'm sorry.
I'm gonna fix who's answering questions. Hey, my panel, remember.
What is your favorite line spoken by one of your characters?
Oh my God!
And can you recite it as that character?
This is on the internet. Episode 23 of Sayuki. We send Gojo out for food, and as the ignorant water sprite that he is, gets distracted by a female. Go figure. Gojo distracted by a female. He ends up getting cornered. This sounds like plot 101. He gets cornered. The woman is evil. She turns into this giant bumblebee kind of thing, and she's trying to kill him. And the Sanzo party rushes in to rescue him. But the other Sanzo party have really heroic lines. Like Sanzo steps forward and he goes, I think he says, like, "You've bitten off more than you can chew." And, like, Akai's like, "I don't think you want to do that." And Goku comes up, like, yawning and scratching the back of his head, and he goes, "Where's my dinner, you slut?" One of my favorite lines, because it's so Goku. It's like, ugh. Like, I don't care about helping you. Where's my food? But there's lots of great lines. Some of my favorite lines I've ever said come from Ghost Stories, which, that was a show that we got to write ourselves, basically. It was a bad show. The Japanese even said, "Look, this show is not doing too well. You do whatever you want with it." But I was the one that decided to start picking on Christian Slater. Like, that was me that started that. Which sucks, because now he's got a career again. But there was a scene where it looked like the scene from Heathers, where he talks about his mother being in a building that was blown up or whatever. And I saw it and I go, "Hey, can I take a stab at Christian Slater?" He goes, "Go right ahead, as long as it fits the flap." So I started that. Remember when Christian Slater had a career? And, like, I didn't know that joke would go the rest of the series. And people were like, there was a part where all the dead people were lining up to get on the boat to cross the, Death River or whatever. And I'm like, there's Kurt Cobain, so, Christian Slater's career. Lasted the entire rest of the series. So that was funny. Now, who had their hand up forever and ever and ever?
She did right there.
Yeah.
I was just curious, with Post Club, did you ever get confused with which twin you were actually doing?
No, and the cool thing, I can play the which one is he
Is it
getting.
because of the cowlick?
It's the hair sweep, but there are a few times where you can't see the hair sweep.
Right.
And in fact, the Japanese mess it up 3 or 4 times in the show.
Oh, really?
There are several times where it is clearly Kaoru and the voice actor is Hikaru. And we're like, okay, wind that back again, and we have to really look like, nope, his hair is going this way, it's Kaoru. So we were actually more attentive to that than the Japanese were at times. But I'm really good at spotting the two of them. I think Kaoru has more fashion sense than Hikaru, but then again, I would say that. They teased me in the episode where they dye their hair pink and blue because I've had my hair.
I'm sorry,
I play Kaoru. I play
which
Kaoru.
hair color did you do? I think of the blue one.
I think Kaoru is the one with the pink hair, isn't it? No, it's the one with the, wait, pink hair, because he makes a joke about it being, he's like, he said something about, I woke up and had a dream that I had hideously blue hair or something, and he's making fun of Hikaru. But, I don't have a real hard time telling them apart, and I think they have very separate personalities. It's one of the things that I got angry when I was reading online. People were like, "Well, I think they should have one actor do the voice of both characters." Well, anybody that's a fan of that show knows that would absolutely be unfaithful to those characters. Like, as much as they look alike, as much as they sound alike, the one thing they want more than anything is for somebody to actually be able to tell them apart. Like, even though they make a joke out of it, even though they're evil about it, that's the whole point. And that's one of the reasons I think they love Haruhi so much, because she can always just go, "You're Hikaru, you're Kaoru, you changed your bangs, you did this." There's nothing they can do to trick her. So that's one of the reasons they instantly take to her. I think secretly Hikaru has a thing for her, but he does. I think he does. I think that's why he acts like such a tool in that one episode.
Yeah.
But notice Kaoru is unaffected by all of that. But I love those characters, and the funny thing is, somebody said, "Did you care which twin you were cast as?" You can ask Caitlin. I only auditioned for Kaoru. That's one of those shows where I could have auditioned for 7 different boys. I only sent one audition file in, and it was for Kaoru. I didn't want to play Hikaru. My thing with Kaoru is he's the softer spoken, he's the more intelligent of the two. He's definitely the more sensitive of the two. And I like the fact that you see a flashback to when they were younger, and Kaoru used to be the very cruel, very mean one of the two of them.